EDC Las Vegas or Electric Daisy Carnival can either be the best weekend of your life or the most expensive weekend of your life. And the crazy part is it usually has almost nothing to do with the lineup. The stages are insane, the lights are insane, the whole thing feels like another planet, electric. But what actually decides your weekend is the boring stuff nobody wants to plan. Where you stay, how you get there, how you sleep, and whether you can survive 3 nights that run until sunrise. I wish somebody told me this before I went, because EDC is not like Bonnaroo, Coachella, Lollapalooza, or any of those music festivals. This is what you need to know before you go to EDC. So, the biggest mistake people make with EDC has nothing to do with the festival itself. It's where they stay and how they get there. Here's the good news. Flying into Las Vegas is one of the easiest things you could do. Harry Reid International is right in the city. It's well served from almost anywhere, and flights are everywhere. That part is simple. The tricky part is once you're in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where EDC takes place, is about 15 to 20 minutes north of the Strip, and that's without traffic. With traffic, you can expect to be there for hours, which is typically the case on those days. That sounds manageable, but it's not. On EDC nights, as I mentioned, ride shares surge to insane prices when 100,000 people or more are trying to all get home at 6 a.m. I've seen people pay $80 to hundreds of dollars for what should be a $20 to $30 Uber or rideshare Lyft. So rideshare is your primary transport plan, which I would suggest is a mistake. The real answer, and what most veterans swear by, is the official shuttles. Insomniac, otherwise known as the festival organizer, runs shuttles from multiple pickup points on the Strip, and while it adds some time, it removes all the uncertainty. You don't have to think, you just show up and you get on and you go. And at 6 a.m. and when your brain is fried, that matters more than you think. Buy shuttle passes in advance. And when I mean in advance, I mean months in advance. Even a year almost in advance. They sell out, they're cheaper in advance, and they save you from the rideshare nightmare on the way home and on the way there. If you're renting a car or driving yourself, understand that parking on site takes significant time. Getting out after the last set can take over an hour. That's the time you're standing still in a hot car when you're already exhausted. EDC weekend is one of the busiest weekends in Las Vegas all year, and that says something for Sin City. Hotels on the Strip book out months in advance, unsurprisingly, and prices spike hard, as if Las Vegas was not already a ripoff and expensive enough. We're talking about $300 to $500 a night for a room that would normally cost $80 to $150. And if you're not booked early, you're paying a premium. That said, the Strip is your best base. You're close to the shuttles, you have food and activities during the day, and the hotel pool culture around EDC weekend is its own thing. DJs play poolside events all day long before the festival even opens. If the Strip is out of your budget, downtown Las Vegas is another option. Cheaper hotels like the Golden Nugget, but they still offer shuttle access, but it's out of the way, more or less. Don't forget, even though it's closer to where you need to go for the festival downtown than the Strip, it's, let's just say, it's a little more sketchy, to say the least. But that isn't the only option. You also have some of the surrounding suburb areas like Summerlin and Henderson, where you have different resorts, like, for example, you have the Red Rock River, you have the Red Rock Resort. You also have countless other places throughout. I will provide the links in the description for you to take a look. And then there's Camp EDC. This is where things get interesting because you can't eliminate the hotel costs entirely, but what you can do with Camp EDC is nothing like camping at other festivals like Coachella. Instead, the organizer, Insomniac, has built it into its own experience. You get a dedicated camping area right next to the speedway and your own stage overlook with programming, shuttles that run directly to the gates, and you can eliminate the whole hotel costs entirely. The catch is that Camp EDC sells out early, sometimes before the main festival tickets are released, and you're camping in the Nevada desert. In May, daytime temperatures can hit 100 degrees, 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which brings me to my next point about the weather. This is dry heat. Your tent will be an oven by noon. Plan for that. Shade structures and a good sleeping bag for when temperatures drop overnight because this is dry weather. And know that sleeping during the day is genuinely hard. Also, bring a gallon of water because this is the desert. This isn't like out east at Bonnaroo or Lollapalooza where you can get away with water bottles. This is the desert. You need a gallon. From my experience, if you can make it work and hydrate yourself, you can be able to sleep, then you are good. And you get over a good difficulties that often plague many festival goers. So if you can make that work, awesome. If you can't, like you said, you have the main strip hotel, and it's more comfortable, but a lot more expensive. And just be prepared for all these different options and all these amazing experiences because there's going to be a whole slew of facet of people around you, and you better be prepared for the best, but also for the worst too. So here's what makes EDC fundamentally different from every other festival and what changes your entire stage. EDC runs from 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is a nighttime festival. You do not need to arrive early in the festival. You should not try and spend the day there. The gates open in the early evening and the best sets are midnight and after. And the fireworks are around 2 in the morning. And you're watching the sunrise over the desert as you walk out. This is what makes it different from Coachella. Wake up late, get food and rest in the afternoon, and be on the shuttle by 8 to 9 p.m. Hit your first sets by 10, and plan to stay until close at least one of the 3 nights. So try and stay all night if you can for one of the nights because it's well worth it. Because watching the sunrise from inside EDC is one of the best things you can ever do in your life. And your enemy is not heat inside the festival. Your enemy is your own sleep debt and the fact that day 2 and day 3 get progressively harder to recover from if you're not disciplined about rest during the day. The same truth that applies to Coachella applies here. You are not going to see everyone you want to see. EDC has 8 or more stages running simultaneously. Artists overlap constantly. You will have to choose. So pick your must-sees. The Insomniac app releases the full set time schedule, usually a week or 2 out, and you need to sit down with that schedule and map your nights before you go. Not when you're there, but before. Pick your must-sees, build a rough route, and then leave room for wandering, because wandering at EDC is how you find your best moments. The art, cars, a random stage you've never heard of, you've got set you stumbled into because it's your favorite memory. Those are the type of things that many people are fond of at EDC. Stage logistics matter here. Kinetic Field, the main stage, draws enormous crowds for headliners. If you want to be close for a headliner, you need to be in a position 45 minutes to an hour before, not 5 minutes before. And when that set ends, a percentage of the crowd leaves. If you're patient and move steadily forward, you can get significantly closer for the next act. Just like I said about Coachella, arrive halfway through the previous set for a good spot. For big headliners, even earlier. Group communication is the same nightmare. Like I said, hundreds of thousands of people on the same cell towers will affect your cell service. Messages take 15 to 20 minutes sometimes, or don't even go out at all. So use WhatsApp before you get in. Establish a meeting point that everyone already knows. Pick something on the festival map in advance and stick to it. And use timestamps on every group message so that people know when something was sent. Going back to Camp EDC, yes, you eliminate the hotel costs entirely, but camping costs oftentimes can be the same, if not more expensive. So it's your choice. Do you want to be outside or do you want to be in? And at that time of the year, it could often be a mixed bag. So what is it that you bring to EDC, this electronic dance music festival? Well, you can either bring what I recommend, which can either make or break your night if you don't follow what I mentioned. So here's what actually matters. Earplugs. I'm putting this first because it's one thing that separates people who feel fine the next day from people who feel destroyed. EDC stagers are loud, unsurprisingly, right? High fidelity earplugs, not the foam throwaway kind, are what I would recommend. Protects your hearing without muffling the music. Every veteran I know wears them. Don't skip out on this. Next, and this goes without saying, hydration. Water stations are free inside EDC. Bring a refillable water bottle, but better yet, as I mentioned, bring a refillable water gallon and use them. Alcohol in the desert night air still dehydrates you faster than you think. So be mindful when you're consuming that stuff. And don't forget electrolyte packets. They're worth throwing in your bag. Layers. So this may seem counterintuitive because it's a desert, right? Well, that's the whole point of a desert. This catches people off guard. It might be 90 degrees or 30 Fahrenheit or 30 degrees centigrade during the day, if not more, when the festival opens up at 8 p.m. But by 4 a.m. in the Nevada desert or Mojave Desert, it can drop to the low 60s or even like under 20 degrees Celsius, like 15 degrees Celsius. So I'm understanding the correct conversion. If you're not carrying something to put on, you will be cold and miserable in the early morning hours. A light jacket or flannel tied around your waist changes the night completely. Next, portable chargers. Portable chargers are essential. Your phone will die. This is how many hours at night? The light trails, the recordings, the maps, it all burns battery fast. So bring a charger, bring a battery charger. I don't think there are outlets or stations as many, even though we're in Kinetic Field of all places. So just bring it in case, with a plug. Next, comfortable shoes. I know the fashion side of EDC is its own culture, but your footwear matters. You're walking for hours on pavement. Closed toe is the right call. Platforms are their own risk. There's how many wires, how many cables running all over the place. I've watched people twist their ankles. And don't forget, you're in a desert, so there could be a random sandstorm, or it'll be dusty out there for sure. So do keep that in mind. Last thing you want is sand between your toes and losing your sandals quite possibly, which is oftentimes the case. Next, A small crossbody or fanny pack keeps your hands free. Your bag will be checked at security, so keep it compliant with insomnia size rules, or you're not getting in with it. That's it. And then next, this may seem overkill, but a small first aid kit wouldn't hurt. Blister pads, Advil, electrolytes, same stuff as any festival. Same logic, minor until you desperately need it. And leave the DSLR at home. Professional cameras and drones aren't allowed. And your phone will do just fine. About getting in and out. So getting into EDC on shuttle can still involve a queue, especially if you're doing it at the following or selected resorts or pickups locations that are mentioned on the websites that links that I will share below. The difference is that the lines tend to move faster than festival parking situations. But on night one, especially when everyone is arriving and the same time, expect a wait. It's a lot of hype the first night, so do be mindful of it. It can be as long as 5 hours. And by the way, if you've seen on social media the whole helicopter approach, flying in on helicopter, do be mindful that it costs a lot of money, nearly $1,000 to do it if you decide to. But that books way in advance as well. Avoid peak arrival crush, which is roughly 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. when everybody is trying to get in for the 10 p.m. headliners. If you get in early and you walk the grounds first, your first impression is completely different and better. Getting out is where the structure really earns its price. After the main stage headliner closes at 6 a.m., there are tens of thousands of people trying to leave at the same time. The shuttle line is long, but it moves. Ride shares wait times at that moment are 45 minutes or more. In fact, oftentimes they're more than 90 minutes. On average, 90 minutes. And surge pricing is at maximum. I mean, it's dynamic, right? The people who didn't buy shuttle passes are the ones sitting on the curb at 7:30 a.m. paying hundreds of dollars for a 15-minute ride. Don't want that to be you. Security lines inside the festival can be slow at entrances too, so give yourself that time buffer. What about tickets and the app? Well, it'll be no surprise. Tickets for EDC Las Vegas go on sale months in advance, and I was able to snag one a couple months before the actual festival, but I was lucky in that sense. Weekend one, actually, it's all on one weekend, believe it or not. It's not like Coachella where it's a couple weekends. General admission sells out, resale prices go up, and significantly are very, very hard to come by afterwards. So StubHub and Ticketmaster resales are your backup if you miss the main sale. Download the official Insomniac app, register your wristband on it. The app has the set time schedule, the interactive stage map, and it functions as your lifeline at the festival. And register the wristband as soon as it arrives in the mail. If it's lost or stolen, a registered wristband can be replaced. An unregistered one cannot. And do be mindful that, yes, registering it gives you a much better chance of getting help if it is lost or stolen. So do be mindful of that. So in essence, wristband works the same way as all modern festivals, right? Once it's tightened on your wrist, it's on. You're committed. There's no loosening it. It's the whole point, right? So don't tighten it until you're ready to wear it. Believe me, I can't tell you how many people still don't know that rule. So what about looking beyond the music? EDC is not just about the stages. Yes, it's electronic dance music. That's the whole point. But if you treat it like a stage hopping music festival, or music schedule, I should say, and nothing else, you're going to miss what makes it special. The art installations and the kinetic sculptures across the grounds are world class. The art can be amazing. The art cars, you got massive mobile DJ stages that roam the festival. This is all a tradition. Finding an art car actually at 3 a.m. and dancing in a crowd of 200 people is one of those EDC experiences that doesn't exist at any other festival. You could say it's a unique selling proposition, or one of them. The carnival rides are real. They're amazing, like anywhere else in trip. You got some of them are like standard carnival rides. Others are more like, I guess, catered or custom to the festival. The themes, aesthetics around the festival is real, and the areas of the grounds that feel completely different from each other makes it one of a kind. Do the non-music stuff early in the night, by the way, not later. Walk the grounds when it's less crowded. Find the art installations while you still have the energy to actually look at them. Don't save everything for the end and run out of time. That's my best advice for that. What about VIP and GA Plus, or General Admission Plus? Well, VIP at EDC means elevated viewing platforms and shorter bathroom lines. The real festival is in GA with the crowd. Honestly, it's more authentic and a lot cheaper. Consensus from people who've done both: spend the upgraded money on your hotel instead. Better hotel situation, closer to the shuttle, more comfortable during the day, affects your experience for all 3 days of the weekend. VIP viewing angle just affects where you stand during the set. So, if anything to take away from this is that VIP can help with bathrooms, space, and viewing, but it is not a magic pill for core EDC problems like sleep, transportation, pacing, and recovery. Then the mindset. So when it comes to going to festivals, here's the stuff nobody says out loud. Go in expecting things to go slightly wrong and be okay with it. Low expectations, right? You'll miss a set. You'll lose your group for maybe 45 minutes. Feet will hurt on nights like night 2 more than night 1, obviously. These things happen to everyone. You're not going to avoid them, no matter how much you prepare, so to speak. Festival people remember most are the ones that are not perfect. They're the ones where something unexpected happens. So stay flexible, let the night take you somewhere. And one other thing, don't spend the whole night looking at through your phone. I know the production is insane. I know you want to document and you want to be an influencer, showing off that you went to an amazing festival like this, and so are countless other people doing the same thing. But it doesn't make you any special, so put it down and just be in the moment. It's one of those times to be in the moment. So to wrap up, here are the biggest mistakes to avoid. 1, don't rely on ride shares as your transport plan, because, well, they can honestly be really all over the place. So there's no set guarantee range, but I've seen Ubers and rideshare lifts, for example, be as low as like $38 to anywhere above $100. Also, make sure to have this all set in advance. So buy shuttle passes in advance. Make sure you know where they pick up people, because surging prices at 6 a.m. on EDC weekend will get you and destroy you. Number 2, don't underestimate your sleep deficiency. 3, consecutive nights and a festival is taxing on your body. What you do during the day, how much you sleep, how much you eat, how much water you drink determines how good of a night 3 feels. Protect your daytime recovery. I know it's tempting in Las Vegas to get the most amazing food and really treat yourself to a lot of food. But, well, first of all, it's expensive, but secondly, it's going to destroy you. So just be mindful of it and take it like a marathon. Take it step by step, little by little. 3, don't skip the earplugs. This isn't a negotiable if you care about not spending the next week with ringing ears. Trust me, I've had that experience. 4, don't try seeing everything. Build a priority list, commit to it, and leave space to wander. This is a festival to wander. And I mean, all of them are, but here especially, it's much easier to wander because it's all within one racetrack called Kinetic Field. And stage hopping to catch 2 overlapping sets just leaves you in a bad spot, so don't do that. 5, don't wait until the last minute on anything. Not tickets, not hotels, not show passes. Yes, not as many people are visiting Las Vegas nowadays. And yes, there's more occupancy, but doesn't matter. It still gets full and backed up, and people are going to EDC regardless. So, and it's one of the most attended music festivals in North America. Everything that can sell out will sell out. So if you get this right, EDC Vegas is one of the most spectacular 3 days you can have. So plan on properly, protect your energy, and trust the festival to do the rest. Also, when it comes to wristbands, so when you buy your tickets through Insomniac directly, this is what you're going to get in the mail a few weeks out. Your wristband, this is your access to everything. It's like, for example, you go on a cruise ship or whatever, that is your access to buying things. Register on the app as soon as it arrives. And I cannot stress that enough. Sometimes it doesn't, if you don't get it registered, it's gone. You're not going to be able to get it. And if at times the mail doesn't come in for your wristband, yeah, you're kind of, in dire straits. So keep this in mind. Once it's on and tightened, though, and you received it, it's on. So there's no way to loosen it. Even when you shower or whatever, it's designed that way so you can't resell it or transfer it illegitimately. So tighten it right before you head out, not days before. You'll also usually get some festival material in the box that you get in the mail, like guide stickers, that type of stuff. That stuff that I went through in my previous video on Coachella Festival. But the wristband is what matters. That's the ticket. Now that you know what to expect at EDC, there's a lot more to this world if you're into electronic dance music. And it's the most popular genre of music right now out there. So if you can make it happen and make it work, if you love this music, all the merrier. This festival is for you. I'll link some related content above and some information regarding the festival itself for you to check out. So if you liked everything, you found this helpful, this video, hit subscribe if you want more. And yes, hopefully I am able to help you out in the best way. So if you're going to EDC, plan the boring stuff first. Shuttle, hotel, sleep, shoes, and water. This is what decides whether the weekend feels legendary or miserable. Then you can look at the artists and all that if you're into that. I'll link my other festival and travel guides. And here, if you want more stuff, no fluff, breakdown before you go on your next trip. Coffee Travels signing out. Thank you. One last thing, and I almost forgot. EDC has another festival location, others all over the world. Vegas is the first one. It's one of the most original. It wasn't the original place that it started, but there's also Orlando. That one happens in November, while this one here, it's happening in May. It typically happens in May every year. And it's been almost like 20 years roughly 20 years. So yeah, you got that. And you got other countries as well, Mexico and Europe, I think, and Asia, so on and so forth. So it's kind of like Tomorrowland, but in its own way, different. But you'll see oftentimes that the organizer, Insomniac, they collaborate with the other organizer of, for example, Tomorrowland, and they bring together different events like the Sphere, like they did last year. So in Las Vegas, where they had different artists play, DJs, and just enjoying things, at a much quicker rate, I guess, so to speak, because there's only like 2 hours or 3 hours at the Sphere. So yes, hope this helps. Thanks and enjoy. So I forgot to mention a few other weird facts but important facts you ought to know, so that way you're not surprised if you go to EDC. One thing to note is there's actually a place, a chapel and all that where people get married. So don't be surprised to see that, where people are getting hitched at the festival. Another thing to note, again, it is 100 degrees oftentimes during these days, so you can expect to see 50-degree Fahrenheit drop in temperature at night. So pashmina light jacket is a recommendation. Next thing is the digital blackout. So as I mentioned, cell service can be horrible. So make sure to be specific with your rendezvous points, like Ferris wheel or the church where people get married, for example, that type of stuff. And one other thing, the festival fireworks, don't forget to see them because they're around 2 a.m. That's when that's when everything shuts off and everyone looks up in the sky for the drone show. So at least try to make it to that, if you can't make it to the end. And that is on Saturday and Sunday night, I believe. And like all good places in Las Vegas, there's speakeasy galore. There's so many places to find out and check out and be able to know how to get in. So I don't know that much about it, but I've seen them and heard about them. So it's something to check out and see for yourself.